Hey guys, this week's topic will be drama and plays that are performed by actors on a stage. So today's lesson is going to focus more on the elements of a play, kind of like how we did elements of poetry last week, where we talked about the different things that make poetry different from stories or books. And then drama is it definitely tells a story, but there's a couple of aspects or elements to it that are different than just a typical book that we would read. So you probably remember this anchor chart when we discussed this in class. I'm just going to go over it pretty quickly, and then we're going to look at the elements of drama in the play Gigi and the Wishing Ring. We are not going to reread Gigi and the Wishing Ring because I felt like we spent a lot of time on that and that most of us understood it and appreciated it. So this is just going to be a review of the elements of drama, and then you are actually going to watch a play on your own. Now, you won't have the script in front of you, so you're going to have to kind of infer or make an inference what some of the elements of drama might be in that play. Okay, so let's get started with this anchor chart just as a review. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between this page and Gigi and the Wishing Ring. That way you can kind of see these elements on an actual play. You may hear my cat meowing. He's just being ridiculous right now. Okay, the first element that makes drama definitely different than a book is the script. Okay, more so the dialogue in the script. You remember dialogue is words that characters say. So in a book, it would say, "Tortoise said, 'How about a race?' Hare replied, 'Ha ha, are you kidding?'" You would see what's called a speaker tag in a book. The speaker tag would be "Tortoise said, Hare replied." That's in the book. Speaker tags tell you who is talking in the book. However, with a drama, you'll see this right here. It says tortoise, and then it has a colon, or those two dots right there, and then it'll tell you what they said, the dialogue, okay? Another huge difference between drama and maybe a story in a book is the stage directions. Stage directions are written instructions telling the actors what to do. So you wouldn't say these things in parentheses. You would do them if you were an actor. So right here is the dialogue. How about a race? Haha, are you kidding? And then the stage directions are the words in parentheses telling Hare what he needs to do. So you see how it's in parentheses under Hare's turn to talk. That means Hare is going to be the one that performs the stage direction. Okay. Also, in a play, there'll be a cast of characters, which we talked about in class. So let's say you're an actor and you're given a play for the first time. Usually one of the first things you'll see is the cast of characters. Remember in class, we had the list of characters and I asked who would like to be the dog or who would like to be the cat. I went down the list and made sure everyone, or not everyone, but people who wanted to perform had a role that they could play, and I used the cast of characters to give out roles to people. Another difference between a book and a drama is that the setting is usually told to us directly instead of kind of implied in books. Usually they kind of maybe describe the setting, and then that's how you're able to tell where it takes place. And then maybe the author will describe the clothes that the characters wear, or the way that they talk, or certain aspects of the setting, and that's how you figure out the time it took place, by using all those clues to figure out when it took place. But in a drama, the setting is usually directly told to us, so that the way the people who create the scenery know exactly what to make. The narrator in a drama. Most stories have a narrator. However, in dramas, sometimes they're just a person who's solely the narrator. They're not a character in the play. They're just kind of outside describing things that go on. So they would probably be a third person narrator, because they're outside of the story describing things that are going on, or they give the reader maybe a little bit of background information, so they're able to understand the story more. Just making sure I was recording. Acts are basically a chapter in a play that contains more than one scene, and a scene is the action that takes place in a single setting. So if it says scene 1, that means one setting. They're not going anywhere else. They're not going to a different time or place. This scene 1 is just in this place. That way the people who are creating the setting know how many different settings they need to make, and what to include in those settings. And then the acts are almost like chapters in a book. So let's look at Gigi and the Wishing Ring really quickly, and kind of point out these elements of drama in the play. Okay. Here is the cast of characters, which you may remember. There's the narrator, Gigi's mother, the old woman, Maliarda, the mouse, cat, dog. Okay, these are all the characters, and these are all the people that have speaking parts in the play. I don't think there was a narrator in Gigi and the Wishing Ring, but we'll have to look and see. Of course, here's the setting. It says a small house in a forest backdrop in the house backdrop, in a house backdrop with a curtain for a door. Backdrop is almost like the background of the stage. It's usually painted. Maybe there's a few trees that are brought in, but usually a backdrop is something that's painted and it's toward the back of the stage, and the actors kind of perform in front of it. This play is different because it also tells us the props that will be needed in the scene and the costumes. This is the what the characters will be wearing. But I'm reading this, and I think it will also help us understand the setting of when this took place. Human characters wear medieval style clothes. Animal characters wear animal masks and fur coverings. So I'm thinking this takes place in medieval times. Okay, you see the dialogue here, Gigi's mother, and then what she says. And then the words in parentheses are actions, stage directions, what she does as she says her line. Here's scene 2. You see this first scene, they're at Gigi's mother's house. This is act 1, scene 1. Then they describe the setting to us right here of this scene. Then we go to the next page and it says scene 2, and it describes the setting of this page also. This is when he meets the old woman. And then scene 3, act 2, scene 3, now we're going into a new chapter. So there's been the events in the story are changing. We just learned about Gigi. He just received the ring, so now things are going to start maybe getting bad or good for Gigi, depending on how the author wrote the play. Here's another description of the setting. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I'm just pointing out a few of the important aspects to you. You see how almost each page is a new setting or a new scene. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is pull up your assignment for today and just go over it. I'm trying to make my videos a little bit shorter, but also make sure that you understand everything you need to know. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, this is what the assignment will look like. On the second slide, you see over here how they're numbered. On the second slide, you'll see some of the vocabulary words that we went over. If you'd like, there's another video of another teacher going over this. So after you watch mine, if you're like, I need another person's opinion on this, or maybe she included stuff that maybe I left out, hopefully not. You're welcome to watch that, but make sure you watch both of ours because we may be talking and focusing on different things because as teachers, we know what our students would need to hear. So there may be differences. On slide 3, I'm really excited about this because there are 4 different theaters. Theaters are where plays are performed that you are able to do a virtual tour of. The first one is Ford's Theater, and this is really historical because this is where Abraham Lincoln was shot. I don't know if you know, but he was actually watching a play when he got assassinated. So that's interesting. The Globe is a theater that a lot of Shakespeare's plays were performed at. So this is an extremely old theater, and some of the most famous plays of all time written by Shakespeare. I would say he's one of the most famous playwrights in history. Most of his plays were performed at the Globe Theater. Tower Theater I haven't heard of, but I'm interested because it sounds like it would be maybe tall, and usually you don't see tall theaters, but you never know. And it's in Oregon, and then there's King's Theater in New York. So take some time to kind of browse these theaters. I would really focus on Ford's Theater and the Globe Theater because you'll probably hear those mentioned as you're in school in older grades. Let's go to slide 4. For this assignment, you are going to click right here. These are actually hyperlinks. You see how they're in a different color and they're underlined. Usually that means that it's a hyperlink or will take you to another website. So let's click on that. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is watching a clip from Frozen the musical. That's the other teacher I was talking about. And she has made it in this. I know some of you mentioned in our meeting that you were having trouble watching the YouTube videos. So she has recorded the YouTube video. So you should be able to watch the Frozen musical clip on your own. When you are done, you can watch this whole video. And when you are done with that, you can come back here and check the answers that she wrote. The setting of the story would be where and when it takes place. So keep an eye on that in the video. Who are the characters? What might be an example of stage directions for this part of the play? This is where it kind of gets tricky because we don't have the script. So maybe look at some of the actions of the characters and write that down right here. Give an example of dialogue. This is just simply words that the characters say. So type in some words that the characters say. And then here, what might be the title of the scene? She wrote coronation time, and coronation is when princess or queen or king, they are officially, it's like a ceremony where they officially become the princess or the queen, usually the queen or king of a town or country. And then the last question says, how does the singing move the plot along? Usually, and especially in Disney movies or in plays and musicals, the songs that are included will tell you a little bit of the story. So you need to be paying attention to the words that are being said. And sometimes they will either tell us the problem in the story or maybe the characters' inner feelings, because a lot of people sing to express their feelings. Okay. So in that video, she will probably go over these questions and answers for you, but make sure you're also watching the play. Then on slide 5, you are going to click on this link again. And watch another scene in the play. Or I guess it would be a musical, but musicals usually are considered dramas or plays as well. You're going to watch another scene from the musical and then answer the same questions about that scene. Okay, so you would just type your answers right here. Make sure you watch the videos, and if you're struggling, make sure you use the anchor charts, and you are welcome to email me if you have any questions. All right, I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.